Sardar Patel Education Campus is the renowned campus where various professional courses run for the all-round development of the student as well as teachers. Moreover, it has already been organized various state level, national level and international webinar as well as published book on the contemporary issues of the lockdown. So, on behalf of the vibrant campus of Gujarat, I, Dr. Jaimin Trivedi, as a member of IQAC committee, welcome you all at this knowledge sharing event. Let us start our webinar with the blessings of Almighty.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
Education Campus, Mr. Girish Patel, who is young, dynamic and energetic leader of the campus under whose constructive leadership the whole campus is flourishing. Moreover, who can be recognized as an educationist as he has promoted education from foundation level to higher education level. I welcome you, sir, for showering your blessings.
Namaste and welcome all. I, Girish Patel, Chairman of Sardar Patel Education Campus, managed by Tirupati Foundation Trust, feels proud to address today's webinar organized by our campus New Education Policy Year 2020. आज के दिवस को हम अक्षय ऊर्जा के दिवस के तौर पर मनाते हैं और कामना करते हैं कि इस नई शिक्षण नीति की ऊर्जा भी अक्षय रहे. This webinar will acknowledge our recent transformational reform in higher education under the National Education Policy proposed by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. So on this occasion, I extend my heartily welcome all the eminent personality who have come here on this digital platform to share their knowledge and vast experience with us. I welcome Professor Naveen Seth sir, VC of Gujarat Technical University, Ahmedabad. I welcome Professor Shirish Kulkarni sir, VC of Sardar Patel University, Vidyanagar. I welcome Professor Jairaj C. Jadeja sir, VC of Kutch University, Bhuj. I welcome Rajan Velukar sir, VC of Aura University, Surat. I also welcome Dr. C.S. Verma sir, Regional Officer and Assistant Director of AICT, Bhopal. Sardar Patel Education Campus has been constantly active in conducting such webinar on current affairs. This is one small effort made by our campus to contribute towards New India concept, which show a roadmap for all schools, colleges and universities. Lastly, I like this opportunity to thank all the participants from the nation who will have their key takeaway and their implication for the students and institutions learning for activable and quality education. Thank you once again to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Girish sir, for your words, which means a lot to us. Now I would like to call upon Dr. C.S. Verma sir, Regional Officer and Assistant Director, AICT Bhopal, who has vast experience at higher education and who has published a number of papers and contributed quality research for the academic advancement. I invite you, sir, to share your views on the new education policy. Welcome, CS Verma, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you. Professor Naveen Seth, sir, Vice Chancellor, Gujarat Technical University. Dr. Rajan Velumkar, Vice Chancellor. Professor Sirish Kulkarni, Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University. Professor Jairaj Singh, Vice Chancellor, Kutch University. Girish Patel ji, Chairman, Tirupati Foundation Trust. Sheetal Patel ji, Secretary. My respected and dear participants, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of AICT in this national webinar on National Education Policy recently approved. I am happy that Tirupati Foundation Trust as well as Gujarat Technical University has initiated this type of webinar, which is our responsibility as a regulator. This is our responsibility, but these two, Tirupati Foundation Trust and Gujarat Technical University has initiated on behalf of AICT and UGC. I would like to say thanks to Gujarat Technical University as well as Tirupati Foundation Trust. This new education policy, दिस इज अ नई शिक्षा नीति हम सबके ज्ञान, योग्यता और रोजगार को बढ़ावा देने वाला नीति है. और एम ऑफ दिस नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी टू क्रिएट क्वालिटी यूनिवर्सिटी एंड कॉलेजेस फॉर डेवलपिंग स्टडी एनवायरनमेंट फॉर स्पेशलाइज्ड एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एट अ deep level and develop character, ethical and constitutional values, intellectual curiosity, scientific temper, creativity, and spirit of service among students. This is our aims. Now, as per new education policy, format will be I would like to overview on national education policy. Format will be 5+3+3+4. Up to 5, this will be elementary education like Bal Vatika, and after then 3 year will be related to 6th class, 7th class and 8th class. This will be called secondary education. Again 3 year will be 9th, 10th and 11th class will be called higher education. This year in new education policy 12th class is dropped now. After 11th class, 4 year will be devoted to degree, but this 4 year will be again divided into various parts. First, if some student after 11th and enter into graduation, if they completed first year, then they will get basic certificate. If any student completed second year, they will get diploma certificate. This is the policy of new education. If any student completed 3 year, they will be awarded degree. And suppose they will completed 4 year, they will awarded degree with research. So this is the format. And even if any student want to do PG courses, master courses, so suppose one student is completed 3 year degree courses, then their master degree will be for 2 year. And suppose any student has completed 4 year degree courses, then their master will be for 1 year. In this format, most important is from 6 year vocational courses will be in force. It means from 6 onwards, any student can opt vocational courses for their skill development. Now, target of education policy is to increase gross enrollment ratio. In education, particularly in secondary education, gross enrollment ratio is 63% as of now. What is gross enrollment ratio? Gross enrollment ratio means that a student entered in a primary school and pass out from secondary education. So what is we have to reduce dropout. So presently in secondary education, gross enrollment ratio is 63%, and our target in new education policy, our target is we have to increase 100% gross enrollment ratio in a secondary education by 2040. Similarly, in higher education, presently gross enrollment ratio is 26.3% in India, and our target is to increase 50% by 2040. And let us assume, suppose in Gujarat Technical University, Gujarat, at present we have around 460 colleges, and we are facing a vacant seat problem. And our target, as per our Honorable Prime Minister, our target is by 2040 we have to increase 50% gross enrollment ratio, and at 26.3% we are facing vacant seat problem. So there is need to address something. Means how it will be possible? In as per new education policy, we have to create enjoyable, employable, and self-employable courses. Then it will be possible by 2014 we can reach 50% gross enrollment ratio. Now next step, this can be achieved by, as per new education policy, this can be achieved by multidisciplinarily achieved by creating multidisciplinarily big universities and colleges with 3,000 or more students. Like earlier it was Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikram, and target will be by 2014. Means we have to create universities or colleges where strength will be 3,000 or more than 3,000 students by 2014. 40. So how to achieve? This will be achieved by, as per new regulation policy, creating single regulatory authority called Higher Education Council of India. So as you know that in earlier there are many regulatory authority for same courses like AICT for technical courses, and some other regulatory authority like Architecture Council of India and the Pharmacy Council. We all are giving we all was giving approval for same courses. So to reduce difficulties among stakeholders, now there is provision for single regulatory authority in this education policy, and this, as per new education policy, this new regulatory authority will be called as Higher Education Council of India. So yeah, in Higher Education Council of India, AICT, UGC, and other regulatory authority will be merged. And after merging, before Higher Education Council of India, there will be 4 pillars. First pillar will be called National Higher Education Regulatory Council, and second pillar will be NAC, National Accredited Council. Second pillar will be Higher Education Granting Council, and fourth will be General Education Council. Now, I would like to brief small function of different authorities. First pillar, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, will be responsible for regulation, and regulation will be light but tight. How light but tight? It will approve all the courses online on the basis of self-disclosure and maintaining transparency. Inspection will be less. Earlier, inspection was generally in a year, one inspection was conducted. Now, at the time of approval, regulatory authority will conduct inspection, and after then, they will depend upon their self-disclosure. And what it will be the function of NAC? NAC will responsible for accreditation, And what is the benefit of accreditation? Quality of institution will increase. And as per National Washington Accord, so when accredited college will be responsible to take autonomy, means main aim of accreditation to provide more autonomy to the university and colleges, so that they can increase their flexibility. And the third body will be higher education granting council. They will be responsible for granting fund. And to whom they will fund? They will grant fund to accredited universities, colleges, or autonomy universities or colleges. And also they will provide scholarship to the meritorious or fiscally able or some meritorious student. And fourth pillar will be general education council. And what will be the function? They will be responsible for making policy. Policy will be outcome based policy. And they will take consultation with the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, also from NAC accredited council, and also from granting council. They will consult, and they will make a policy, outcome based policy. Now how and the second next features of this new education policy is internationalization. So what is internationalization? As per policy, we will attract more international students in Indian university, and also we have to uh, attract top 100 universities in the world will be facilitated to operate in India. Means we will attract the top 100 universities. They will operate in India, so that our students as well as foreign students can benefit from international universities. Next features, name of deemed to be universities, affiliating universities, affiliating technical universities, unitary universities shall be replaced by simply university. Now every university will be replaced by simply university. Next step, more emphasis on teacher training. As per new education policy, teacher training is very important. And as per AICT is also doing teacher training through ATAL and short-term teacher training program. Through ATAL, we have already conducted 500 workshops for training teacher in emerging areas. And currently, we are also currently we are conducting 500 workshops in emerging areas. And the next feature, which is very interesting, now MHRD will be called Education Ministry, as everybody you know. And and next education policies feature, revamping vocational framework. Means at every stage from 6 onward to college level, there will be possibility to opt vocational education at every stage to become skilled, and after skilled they can be employed and self-employed. Now what will be the responsibility of university and colleges? University and colleges will recognize, identify, and foster the unique capabilities of each student. And the second responsibility, emphasis on local language. Local language will create more understanding about the course material among students. And next, three language system. In education, particularly in school, three language education system will be adopted, and also school will be provide opportunity to learn other state language like Tamil language, Kannada, Telugu, Gujarati, Bengali, uh, Kashmiri, by providing teachers. If they are not able to provide teachers, they will provide online to become Prime Minister's vision, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Next, functions of university, they will provide multiple discipline courses. Major, this will be combined major and minor. For example, science student can have physics as a major and music as a minor. Also, multiple entry and exit facility in any year in any course in future using ABC. What is ABC? Academic Bank Credit. Academic Bank Credit, it is a digitally stored credit system gained by the students. Means a student can enter and can exit anytime. When in future they want to come, they can use their future credit by taking their credits from the bank. Next step, facility for choice-based credit system. Choice-based credit system means they can take any courses through online, and as per our AICT, we are also providing SWAM portal. From using this portal, they can take any courses, and AICT is giving 20% courses can be added as a credit. Next step of next function of university, they will focus more on practical and application knowledge. AICT is already initiated many steps like examination reform, internship portal, NAT platform. I would like to request university and every institution kindly say your student to participate or register in our internship portal so that they can be benefited from internship. The internship will be paid, or even university, even industry will pay to the students. And there is also another platform also, any AT platform. Now, through any AT platform, this is a paid product. Paid product means skill development product. We can visit any AT platform. From that, you can opt courses which is payable, and these payable courses after completing, you can convert it as a internship. So every institute and university, I would like to request kindly say your student, even current student and pass out student, they can register in internship portal. By internship portal, they will get more practical and application knowledge. Now, university will be focused on creative and critical thinking to inculcate innovation, research, and startup to solve pressing problem of the society's ministries. As you know that AICT is doing, AICT is conducting Smart India Hackathon both for software and hardware edition. Also, AICT is conducting Chhatra Vishkarma and Utkrisht Sansthan Award to inculcate innovation quality in a student. And we are happy to announce that India, in particular in research, their ranking is increased from 81 to 52. Now, earlier it was 82. Now, in a world ranking, in particularly in field of research, our India is at 52 rank. So there is need to create environment for research, innovation, and startup. Now there is need also to research on agriculture because our 52% people is in village. Research should be for storage, disease prevention, price, production, high production, because if we increase our research on agriculture, our productivity of India will increase. Now, respect for as per new education policy says respect for diversity and local context. Student induction, as our AICT is conducting student induction program for 21 days for first year to inculcate university universal human values. Now finally, learning should be holistic, integrated, and for self enjoyable. if our courses will be self enjoyable, everybody will be take interest and they will become employed and self employed. अंत में कहना चाहूंगा, don't struggle to change but embrace it. This new education policy, with this I would like to end my speech with best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Verma sir. It was a wonderful session and informative as well as interesting session. Thank you, sir, for throwing light on the aims, structure, features, and funding
Chalo.
for academic development of accredited institutions under New Education Policy 2020. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to invite our next keynote speaker of Oro University, Surat. More than 33 years of experience with the Indian higher education system as a teacher, development leader, quality innovator, technology adapter, administrator, and policy advisor. I welcome you, sir, to enlighten us on the new pattern of Education Policy 2020.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be part of this webinar. I have recently joined the Oro University, which is at Surat, based on the principles laid by Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And therefore, in the university, we have integrated the integral education, which talks about the holistic personality of a person. So I'm happy to be part of the Oro University. I'm sure the kind of integral education with the disciplines which we have integrated into our curriculum is going to help these young people, and I'm sure many will be benefited out of this. The management of the Sardar Patel Institute of Education Technology and the group of institutions they are having. All the vice chancellors, those who are present, those who are the panelists in this webinar, all invitees, and my dear participants. Mane Gujarati avadtu nathi, and therefore I will be speaking in English. Am I audible? I suppose I am audible.
We can hear your voice.
So, thank you very much once again for giving me an opportunity to speak on the National Education Policy. First of all, I must compliment the members of the National Education Policy. Some of them I know very well, with whom I have worked. Compliment for the reason is they have put in a lot of efforts to bring in so many concepts into one document. And they're talking about the future of education. Many things which I was talking since last more than 20 years, which has been the part of this National Education Policy. And therefore, I compliment the entire committee who has prepared this document of National Education Policy. Great. Many people in the country as well as outside have gone through this National Education Policy. I compliment the National Education Policy because which has come out after a long time, which was pending. Though there were National Education Commission in between, the Yashpal Committee in between, those who have suggested several things which many universities are implementing. But from my perspective, if I want to tell you my narrative about the National Education Policy, is all the policies are good, whether of our country or of any country. But where is the problem? That is very, very important. My earlier speaker has narrated the entire education policy in 15 minutes. You also must have gone through it. And therefore, I am going to give you a different perspective on national education policy, which we should take with us. The takeaways, which I would say. See, there are some people, those who are praising the national education policies. Those who are some people, those who are raising the concerns about the national education policy. But we all are academicians, those who are attending this webinar. And therefore, I would say that the takeaway from this national education policy is reading between the line and moving ahead. That is what we can take. Policy has been made by somebody. We have to implement. They have created the enabling provisions in this national education policy. They have given the structure. But within that structure, we have to work and we have to innovate. It is our responsibility to innovate and take the maximum benefit of the positive things which has been mentioned in the education policy. I understand. Even if there are some issues we have faced in our life, we came out with some solutions and wonderful solutions which we have worked with. Yesterday only I was watching one video. There are more than 2 billion people, those who doesn't have the facility of toilets. When they're traveling, washrooms. In Pune, Pune is one city in our country that is part of Maharashtra. What have they done? These state transport buses, they have asked state transport to give them the buses. They have approached the companies to do CSR. And this entire buses, and they have asked the corporation to give them some land where they can keep these buses. The entire bus they have converted into the washrooms. Say the passerby, whenever they need to go to the washroom, they can go. The wonderful washrooms they have created, and it is very, very clean. Even they take care of the physically handicapped people. All people are crying. But this NGO, the NGO, non-government organization, a non-profit organization, has came out with this innovation. So whatever the structure may be, our job is to take maximum positive things out of it, innovate something, and deliver it to the learner. That is our job. And there are so many positive things which this national education policy is talking about. In statistics, we call it as 2% zero-sum game. Let us consider that they have come out with one strategy. So if they are one player, you are another player, whether it is institution or an individual. Those who are involved in this education sector, you are another player. And therefore, you have to play the game. In statistics, we call it as, in economics, we call it as 2% zero-sum game. Now we have to play the 2% zero-sum game to bring maximum benefit to our customer who is a learner. And if this is a learner-centric policy which has come out, then this is the advantage to all of us. Let us innovate. what kind of delivery mechanism which we have to create. Because now we are independent. We have the autonomy. How we have to go into the classroom and teach. This is what we need to learn. The best thing which the policy is talking about is interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinarity, and transdisciplinarity. I'm just telling you, I'm not going into word-to-word policy. Here we have gathered to find out the solutions. How do we convert that into reality? How do we become the tools in transformation process? We need to become the facilitator. We need to become the tools to bring transformation. And therefore, I am just telling you, reading between the lines, what one should read. We only were talking about intra, and transdisciplinary approach. Now, this policy has given you that facility. They have enabled you. And please understand the difference between and the meaning of inter, multi, and transdisciplinarity. It is not that you are allowing a student of biology to go and do physics. That is not inter and multidisciplinary. You have to bring the perspective of physics into biology. That is multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, and transdisciplinarity. What are the linkages? Because if I study physics from a biology perspective, then only biology will move ahead. If I study physics from physics perspective, I am not going to bring any effect to biology. We need to understand that. It is not that you are allowing them to go and then choice-based credit system, you go and do that. No, that you have to do it. But you have to bring the perspective of other discipline into your discipline and your discipline's perspective to other disciplines. And therefore in Finland, in the 9th and 10th standard, what they do is they bring the groups. They make the groups of students. And they ask those group individuals to read physics to somebody, to read biology, to read mathematics to somebody, and then they bring them together and then they give them the project. And then they ask them that you bring the perspective of your discipline, what you have read. And then when they're doing say collaborative work, they are understanding what interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary means. So this is one reading between the line for me. So you need to read between the line what exactly the national education policy is doing. That is not in the policy. That is left to us. We have to bring this perspective into the new education policy. That is what we need to understand. Secondly, we are all the time talking about the funding. But let me tell you, if they are going to, if in real world, if in reality, if it happens that we get 6% for higher education or education, we need to ask a question to ourselves. Whatever funding is available, are we really utilizing that funding? My experience is a lot of research funding has been given since last 15 years in this country. But many times we have found that whatever funding has been given to the public institutions, they are unable to spend that. We need to ask this question to ourselves and prepare ourselves. If in reality, if it happens that 6% we are going to get, then we need to ask a question to ourselves, why we could not spend money earlier, entire money on whatever grants we have received. I have seen many universities I have seen in my own university when I joined, a lot of money we received from the UGC and Government of India, but hardly 5% was spent. Why? And therefore, prepare yourself for that. Now it is the time for us to prepare ourselves for whatever the national education policy is talking about. I always say, in India, knowing what to do is not the problem. We all are intelligent. Not doing is the problem. And not allowing people to do is a greater problem. And therefore, what I say is, now this is an opportunity. We have got a new generation. All the young people, those who have joined our universities, are born in 21st century. They are not born in the 20th century. Understand their mindset. By understanding their mindset, understanding their speed, understanding their patience level, we need to extract maximum from this new education policy. The multiple entry and multiple exit. Imagine if students are coming and leaving your university, you will have more challenges. And therefore, you will have to create a scheme and the programs and the courses which will attract all the time a constant number of people. And therefore, you should know the trend. You should be intellectually alert all the time. Because I will tell you, in a professional college, you are an engineering college. If 60 students are admitted in your first semester, and imagine if next year, and if you are a private institute, and if in next year, if out of this 60, 30 people are exiting because multiple entry, multiple exit, only 30 will remain. So your revenue will go down. Now, if your revenue will go down, so many things will happen, and therefore you will have to be intellectually alert. How do you bridge that gap? What kind of courses which you need to, and how those who have left, they are going to come. So all the time your enrollment will be constant so that you are not going to face problems. And if your enrollment has to be constant, then you need to understand the need of the customer, need of the nation, because it will affect the workload also. And then it will affect the teachers. But this is need of the hour, multiple entry, multiple exit. I call it as unbundling of courses. I'm talking about this since last more than 4 years. Now we were following the bundling of courses program, bundling of courses in a program. You have to do all the programs in this bundle. हमारे शादियों में ब्याह में क्या होता है, बुफे होता है, बहुत सारी चीजें वहां रखी गई है, हमें जो चाहिए हम वो लेते हैं. वही शिक्षा में भी वही व्यवस्था पूरी दुनिया में आ गई है और आने वाली है, और तेजी से आने वाली है. और अगर ये तेजी से आने वाली है तो हमें भी बहुत बड़ा रिसर्च करते रहना होगा. हमें पता ही नहीं है सिल्वर लाइन इंडस्ट्री कोविड-19 के बाद कौन सी है, कौन सी इंडस्ट्रीज को नुकसान हो रहा है और कौन सी इंडस्ट्री ने अच्छा किया है. हमारे पास नहीं है डेटा. फिक्की बात करती है उसकी, लेकिन हम रिसर्च नहीं करते, जिसे हम सिस्टम्स के बारे में रिसर्च करने की जरूरत है. तो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी असेसमेंट के बारे में भी बात करती है. The assessment have changed. We only were doing the summative evaluation. Nothing more than that. At the end of the semester, we call it as internal marks, but internal also we are conduct in a summative way. We are not conducting even in a formative way. Formative evaluation. If you understand what formative evaluation is, wherein you are giving an opportunity to a child to improve, to make correction. In summative, you don't give, But now the world has gone beyond that. And that is what the new education policy is asking you to read between the lines. And in assessment, assessment is not assessment of learning, assessment for learning, but it is assessment as learning. That is based on reflections. We don't ask our students to write the reflections. We don't create the portfolios of learning. And this is what we need to do in future. Then only there we will survive. Otherwise, I like one sentence that is, change is mandatory. Survival is optional. We need to think whether we want to survive or not. And if we want to survive, we need to read between the lines of national education policy. Even the national education policy is talking about digitization. They have enabled us, but ultimately we have to do it. So this new education policy has cited the need for computational thinking at the foundational level. Computational thinking, you just can't do away with it. Data analytics, the whole world policies are being made, or businesses are being made on data analytics. Data is important. We don't use the data. Even our examination centers, examination cells are not using the data. We are not analyzing the data. We are not analyzing the behavior of students. We are not calculating the difficulty level of each item, each question. We are not calculating the solvability index. We are not calculating the discrimination index. How you will know about the learners? Lot of data every day is created. The moment you ask them to write reflections, so much of behavioral data will be collected, and then you can improve. Then you can correct your instructions. Our instructions are not based on the data analytics, data analysis. It is just based on our perspective. How is it going to help? That is what the reading between the line in the national education policy. So therefore, the NEP has cited about this computational thinking, but does not conceptualize the integration of digital skills into the core curriculum that we have to do, that they have left it for us. We need to integrate this. Secondly, the new education policy is talking about, it is talking much more towards the enabling aspect of technology. They have enabled it. They have not dwelled on the need for building the capabilities required for engaging meaningfully with it. So we have gone online. I congratulate all the teachers for that. They were not habituated for this kind of online teaching, but they have shifted. I compliment them for this. But there are exceptions, but we are not really engaging these young people. They are not engaged. Unless and until they are engaged, nothing will happen. My daughter, she does the engagement audit of learners very professionally. Engagement audit of learners. We are not doing it. Engagement index, I have not seen of any university in our country. We need to do that engagement index. And for that, we need to do engagement audit. She does it wonderful. I came to know from her only. And so many things which we really can do it. So time is less, and therefore I would not be able to dwell into it. And therefore, it is for us to develop the capabilities of our teachers. Don't go on debate whether the policy is right or wrong. Just play 2% zero-sum game. They have played their strategy. Now we have to play our strategy. And in that strategy which they have played, so many new things which we can do. They have spent a lot of time. in the language, it is an opportunity for us. Now, it is a very good decision that the education should be given in language, in their mother tongue. A very good decision. Now, who will transfer it to the reality? How do we transform it? So these Indian languages feature nowhere among the top languages in use of on the internet. हम गुजराती में क्यों कंटेंट नहीं क्रिएट कर सकते हैं फिजिक्स में? We are trying to do in our university. Those who want to collaborate with us, we are really ready to collaborate with all of you. We are also doing the courses on coaching. Coaching means every person needs a coaching. Not only in cricket, not only in games, but even in education. Even the learners and teachers, that is beyond mentoring. This is coaching is the phrase, and coaching is the training. We are launching several courses. I must tell you, I am launching a course on social intelligence and finance. That is interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinary. Social intelligence and finance is a course which we are launching in our university. Several courses like this, live coaching courses which we are launching from our university. This is what the advantage we should take. This is what the reading between the line which I read from this national education policy. So if our presence of our languages is not much on internet, then we need to venture into it. How do we do that? That is the question. And therefore, from my perspective, the new education policy and the COVID-19 has given us an opportunity really to read between the line of new education policy and be resilient in our approach. What is needed is resilient mind. हमारा मन कितना लवचिक हम इस व्यवस्था में ला सकते हैं, यही बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. So let us bring that resilience in our system, and that nobody can bring. The government cannot bring. We have to bring that change. They only can facilitate. By this new education policy, they have facilitated us. Now it is our responsibility to use it in a positive perspective and transform. This is what I would. There are so many things which I can, but in a limited time, this is what I can communicate from a very different perspective, rather than talking about the national education policy, each things, but I just say reading between the lines. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be with all of you. And दो शब्द है, एक listening and hearing. Listening तो ठीक है, इधर जाता है, यहाँ जाता है. Hearing खैर ठीक है, यहाँ से पता नहीं कहाँ जाता है. But I must thank all the participants for listening to me or hearing to me, whatever you have done. Thank you very much. Pranam.
Sir, I am extremely happy and delighted to hear from you about the compliment and appreciation to the academicians for adopting new pedagogy of online teaching and learning for ensuring the education of the student. Thank you, sir, for sharing your views on the impact on multidisciplinary studies and takeaway from the new education policy 2020. Now, our next, a very energetic and enthusiastic as well as an eminent educationist in the areas of commerce and management, Dr. Jairaj Jadeja, who is Vice Chancellor of Kranti Guru Shyamji Krishna Verma, Kutch University, who taught us so many aspects of management previously. I invite you, sir, to brief us about the new trends in the education sector with reference to new education policy 2020. Welcome you, sir.
That's okay. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Now, I mean, I think we have almost overshooted by 20-25 minutes. And we have two eminent speakers, stalwarts in the field. Professor Navin Sheth and Professor Shirish Kulkarni is yet to speak. Can you tell me precisely how much time I have? Because I have prepared very extensively. So I don't want to overshoot the time because we have. Please be specific about it.
Yes, sir. You can spare 10 to 15 minutes.
Uh, okay. Okay. Thank you. New education policy 2020. The growth and development of any country is largely depending on the quality and level of education. Education plays a highly significant role in the improving the standard of living of the people and making society more civilized. So it is said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can see to change the world. This is what the Nelson Mandela said about. What Radhakrishnan has said that it is a million dollar question that what kind of education system is, what should be the fundamental objective of education, and how education system to be put into the practice and get successful outcome of the same. The end product of education should be free, creative man who can battle against historical circumstances and adversities of the nature. This is an historical event as after 34 years of education policy has changed now. It has addressed almost all area of concern. NEP is very radical and made path-breaking changes that will put India on a growth trajectory. There are 4 foundation pillars. Policy is based on accessibility of education. It is accessible to all. Equity, that is the same for all. Quality is same for all. Affordability and affordable. So provide opportunities for lifelong learning, as my previous speaker was talking about, Professor Velukar, in lines to achieve sustainable development goals for quality education. The purpose of education is to develop good human beings capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination with sound ethical moorings and values. On the onset, the policy is futuristic as it talks about artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, climate change, and human values in lines with the sustainable goals. It focuses on not just to learn, but learn how to learn. This is the most important. I call it is the a very key point of the policy. This is calling for convergent thinking, not but it is the divergent thinking. It also talks of teaching complete self-realization and liberation of the self. It is trying to get back the lost dignity of the teachers. Currently, there are 50,000 higher education institutes. Higher education institutes are running single program with less than 100 students, which are commercial entity with little or no education taking place. First time the policy is accepting the loopholes and the flaws of the system and trying to address it. Moving towards the large multidisciplinary universities and higher education institute, that is the main recommendation of the policy. There would be 3 kinds of institutes. Over a period of time, there will be research institutes, universities, teaching universities and autonomous colleges. By 2040, all higher education institutions will be converted into the multidisciplinary education clusters with thousands of students studying at one place. No concept of affiliated colleges will be there in next 15 years. It will be phased away. Definition of the university should be universal. University is a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning that offers undergraduate, graduate, and PhD programs and engage in high quality teaching research. You have research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities, autonomous degree granting colleges, that is, you call it the AC. By 2040, HEIs shall aim to become multidisciplinary. Medium of instruction in local or Indian languages or bilingual. Aim to increase, as my previous speakers were talking about, Verma ji and Velikar sahab, the gross enrollment ratio from 26.3% in 2018 to 50% in 2035. Institution will have option to run open distance learning and online programs and provide opportunities for lifelong learning. SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal that has been given in UNESCO. Education is the point number 4. So that is the Sustainable Development Goals by the UNESCO. My previous speaker has said about multi-entry and exit points. I will not go into this. If a student is not able to continue his studies further, then he would have his credentials saved under ABC. He would be able to use it as and when he would like to resume their studies. ABC is Academic Bank of Credit. Top 100 foreign universities would be allowed to operate in India under stipulated laws made for that. Teacher-student ratio would be 1:10 to 1:20 to ensure the quality aspect. Vocational training of students of 19 to 24 years age is less than 5% in India, whereas it has been given importance now. In US, you will find 54%. In Germany, you will find 75%. In South Korea, you will find 96%. Research and innovation investment is just 0.69% in India, whereas in US you will find 2.8, China it is 2.1, in Israel is 4.3, and South Korea it is 4.2%. All the researches in the country of all faculties will be funded by National Research Foundation. The expenditure on education will increase from current 4.43% to 6%. Out of which 2% would be earmarked for research. Very important point, the appointment of the leadership position in all higher education institutions should be based on merit. Board of Governors would be an independent body and will be free from any political and external interference. NHERA, National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, will be governing everything with light but tight regulation. This is what Verma ji has said. Policy talks about holistic and multidisciplinary learning from universities like Takshashila, Nalanda, to the extensive literatures of India, combining subjects across field. In Sanskrit, what we call it is the Bahutattvavid. I should be able to talk across all the disciplines. So the future student would be what is the all-rounder personality. This is the aim of the key point of the policy. Integrating humanities and arts with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is, you already said STEM, have shown positive outcomes. Policy is talking about 64 Kala, that is the arts, as in is mentioned by the Bhanabhat in Kadambari that would be given to the students in forms of vocational training, and that will lead a student to becoming as what I said, Bahutattvavid. It talks about soft skills, communication, debates, etc. Global Citizenship Education Development, GECD, is response to contemporary global challenge. Bodies like GEC, General Education Council, will frame the learning outcomes. NHEQF, National Higher Education Qualification Framework. NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework, to be established. HEGC, Higher Education Grants Commission instead of UGC. Very important point, master's program, 2 years with second year devoted entirely for research for those who have completed 3 years bachelor's program. Those who have completed 4 years bachelor's with 1 year research masters will be 1 year. There will be integrated bachelor's and masters of 5 years. PhD will require either master's degree or 4 years bachelor's degree with research. MPhil program shall be discontinued. It will be phased out. The prime recommendation of the policy is that the commercialization of higher education should not happen. HEIs will operate as a Section 8 not-for-profit company. Again, two important points. MHRD will be now Ministry of Education. HRD minister would be Education Minister. For successful implementation, and IES will be developed Indian Education System. IES, Indian Education Service, would be developed like IAS and IPS, and registrar would be from IES category. Model public universities for holistic and multidisciplinary education at par with IITs and IIMs called MERUS, MERUS. Multidisciplinary education and research universities will be set up. HEIs will focus on research and innovation by setting up this start to incubation center, technology development centers. Implementation, most important part. Howsoever good plan you have, but if you cannot implement or you do not have the action plan, your plans are bound to fail. So the policy has recommended 7 steps. 1, to develop the spirit and content of the policy. Number 2, to implement it in a phased manner. I am not going into the details, I am just brushing the points. Prioritization of the things to be done. It should be comprehensive. It should be concurrent. The resources required should be fulfilled. Analysis and reviews of the policy. By 2030, most things will be implemented, and by 2040, it would be in the operational mode. I think looking into the time and the 2 stalwarts that are yet to come, I would like to put a full stop to whatever my little talk is. I hope it is useful to you. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much for sharing a very valuable information within a short of time. I am very much delighted to hear from you about the consequences as well as execution of the new education policy 2020, which is very essential to understand for the academicians. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable time. Now, next we have with us our beloved Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University, under whose flagship we are running our Sardar Patel Education Campus, Professor Dr. Shirish Kulkarni, who is Vice Chancellor since last 5 years, under whose constructive leadership the university is flourishing, as well as affiliated institutions are also growing. So I invite you, sir, to share your views, to enlighten us by imparting your knowledge on new education policy.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Your voice is loud and clear.
Okay. So can I start?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Dignitaries in this webinar. This is a long way going on to understand NEP 2020. Years together, rather I would say the decades, will need to understand this NEP 2020. So it is just a beginning. We are looking at the NEP. It's quite possible that in the beginning we will be feeling it's very difficult. But the importance of NEP is a total change. Rather, I will say that we are going towards east from the west or south to north. Like that, there will be a change, but it will take a lot of time. It's not that in a year or two or in a decade it will happen. It will take a lot of time. Look at today's education is totally on a degree achieving program. And because of that, the degree is linked with the job. If you want a job, you need the degree. And for degree, you need the marks. And for marks, how much minimum we can learn and get the more marks. That's what is normally the student is doing. Sometimes it's very difficult to say that sometimes the teacher also teach that much only where the students can get the marks. So it is not a student. In Gujarati we can say that he is not Vidyarthi. He is not Shiksharthi. He is only an Pariksharthi. He just look at the examination, study the subject only for the sake of getting the marks. And that's why this entire education system requires to be changed. What happens when the raw material is good? The finished goods also will be good. The difficulty we are getting, the raw material is not good. So how can we expect that the finished goods also will be good? So our 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, that is now going to give us the inputs in a higher education. You will surprised to know that internship will take place at the standard of 6th in this new education policy. So normally we say it is a hands-on. We know the practical knowledge of the subject and then we are entering into the higher education. So hands-on is the basic requirement in this particular national education policy, and that's why the internship at 6th standard. Secondly, the local language was not taken care. Normally, every parent wants that my kid should learn in English. So English has become so important. But Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has stated several times that it's very important that you should study in your mother tongue, in your local language, so that the terminology of a subject is one thing to be studied, and second thing, the terminology of a language also is to be studied. Then only we can understand the subject. So there are two things simultaneously which are happening. But if the subject is in my mother tongue or in a local language, then I have to study only the subject, not the language. So that's why this NEP is giving importance to the local language, and the study will be in the local language. See, this is what has been stated in House of Commons in the Britain. The Macaulay himself has stated the traditional educational system was tremendous in India, and that was literacy rate is nearly 100%. There was no unemployed person. This is what I'm talking about 1835, when it has been stated in the House of Commons in Britain. And it was stated that in India, we know that several times it has been stated that Sone ki chidiya. The reality is this, that this Macaulay is saying in that common House of Commons, that is we call Lok Sabha here. So he has stated that our all three states in a Britain combined wealth will be in one city of India, and that is from Gujarat, Surat. This is what I'm not saying. It is Dharmapal, who was the companion of the Mahatma Gandhi. He has stated, and our documents are already available and documented facts I'm telling you. So that education system, why there was a wealth? Because the education system was good, and that education system should be destroyed, and that's what is the target of the Macaulay. Now that education system which do not remains anybody unemployed, that such system should be there. It doesn't mean that we will be going back. We will be going ahead only. So other things have been stated by Vermaji. So I'm not going to repeat it. Thank you for calling me and giving me an opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kulkarni sir, for sharing your valuable time and for throwing light on the key element of new education policy 2020. Thank you very much, sir. Last but not the least, we have Vice Chancellor of Gujarat Technology, Sheikh sir. First of all, sir, I would like to congratulate to you to be appointed as a member of the IB of the proposed All India Institute of Medical Science, Rajkot. I welcome you, sir, to give your valuable remarks on the new education policy, sir. Welcome, sir. Sarji, your voice is not audible. So if you have headphones.
Yes. Now it's audible now?
Yes, sir. Now your voice is loud and clear and it's audible to all. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Respected all dignitaries joined in this webinar, my colleagues, Dr. Kulkarni, Dr. Jadeja, Dr. Rajan, the trustees of the Tirupati Foundation and Sardar Patel Education Campus. Very first, I congratulate the trustees and organizer for organizing this webinar, which is the need of our, particularly on the new education policy. Actually, my earlier speakers, they have covered so many things of the new education policy. I am just highlighting some important changes which is found in this new education policy. Dr. Shirish Kulkarni has already said that the earlier and the present system, they focus on degree, means it is exam oriented education, not education or oriented or a knowledge oriented system. So it is the first such policy approved by the government of India that focus on knowledge, focus on innovation, not focus on degree, but focus on skill. And if it is fully implemented, definitely India will be the global knowledge hub, global innovation hub. The major changes in this education policy, that is one apex body for regulation. Nowadays, there are several councils and different regulators. So there may be a different, sometimes so many classes. Suppose for pharmacy council, it has some standards. It says for something that what is the size of the classroom, and AICT saying the another thing. Both the council are regulating body. So such thing are happen. That number of regulatory body, there is a classes and lot of litigation throughout the India in different high courts and supreme courts due to these different regulations and inspection by one council and inspection by another regulatory body. So lot of things. So to remove all such difference, to remove all such matters, in this education policy, there is a provision for a single regulatory body. So as far as the education part is concerned, this one apex body will regulate the education of all sections. Another important thing, that is a formation of NRF, National Research Foundation. It is mentioned in the policy that 20,000 crore rupees will be provided for a global level research. So focus on the such type of the research, the world level research. For that, at present, what happened, there are number of funding agency and they are giving some small fund. So no, some big project cannot be possible. Second thing, sometimes multiple. A single research fellow will approach the UGC, approach the AICT, approach the ICMR, approach the Department of Science and Technology. Sometimes for a same project, he is getting the grant from the different agencies. So multiplication and duplication is possible, and it not leads to a global research. Now by this single regulation body, research foundation, huge amount of the fund will be provided to a good project, for a good research work, for a good innovation. So it leads to a India as a research or a innovation hub. And definitely, when we are referring the patent data, last year data, 7 lakhs patent filed by the China, 6.5 lakhs patent filed by the US, and India 53,000. Very, we are lag behind. Means minimum awareness for patent, no such standard or global level research, and we are far behind. So to have our position like the other countries, we should have a global level research here in India, global level innovations, and that is possible now by the NRF. One more, that is the National Education Technology Forum. The whole thing is now technology driven. There is a provision for the digitalization. And India is such a country, diverse country with a maximum number of the languages, the diversity in culture. As far as the education is concerned, Dr. Jadeja has already said 50,000 institutes, more than 1,000 universities. So it is a very complex system to monitor such a huge education system, or to regulate the system is very complex. are sort out such problems. So at present, the digital content are available for a number of courses in the Swayam or Diksha. So many platforms are there, but they are generally in the English language. So all such content in due course of time to be available in all regional languages or the local languages. That is the provision for that. Under this NETF, National Education Technology Forum, all things will be possible. Even on the Independence Day, our Honorable Prime Minister already said that the optic fibers will be there in all 6 lakhs villages of India in 1000 days. Means at the remote area, the education is possible by this digital form also to the remotest part of India. There is a credit bank. Dr. Rajan has already said about the multiple entry, multiple exit. So the national level credit bank is there. So migration in such a vast and large country, students are migrating. Even we see in this pandemic time, the laborers are migrated from far away, one state to another state. Then there will not be any difficulty. Their credit is deposited in a credit bank, and students can move from one to another institutes. It will not create any problems. Presently, students is facing number of problems. Yesterday, there is announcement about the single testing agency, because even for admission, students is has to, for one institute there is one entrance exam, another state there is another exam. From institute to institute, from state to state, there is a entrance exam and other thing. Now it is possible to have a single entrance exam by not only for the employment but for admission also. So I think these are the major important changes. That is a provision are there in the new education policy. The earlier speakers already described these so many matters related with the new education policy. These are some points which I described. I think so. I have one more scheduled meeting, so I am concluding here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to express my views here. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time to enlighten us by throwing light on the key elements of the new education policy 2020. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I call upon our IQAC coordinator, under whose supervision the whole event was carried on successfully. I really appreciate his untiring efforts to make this event grand success. So now I invite Professor Mihir Rajguru to express his deep sense of gratitude towards dignitaries on behalf of Sardar Patel Education Campus. So welcome, Mihir, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. When we talk about National Education Policy of India to build the nation, our main focus should be student centric. So विद्यार्थियों के लिए काक चेष्टा बको ध्यानम स्वान निंद्रा तथैव च स्वल्पहारी गृहत्यागी यह विद्यार्थी पंचलक्षण, अर्थात विद्यार्थी कौवे के समान चेष्टा वाला, बगुले के समान ध्यान वाला, कुत्ते के समान नींद वाला, भूख से कम भोजन करने वाला, सदाचार के पालन करने वाला होना चाहिए. It was very wonderful experience to listen all vice chancellor of different university and regional officer of AICT on the various aspects of National Education Policy of India 2020. We express our deep sense of gratitude towards Professor Naveen Seth sir, Vice Chancellor of GTU Ahmedabad, Professor Shirish Kulkarni sir, Vice Chancellor of SP University, Bibinagar, Professor Jairaj C. Jadeja sir, Vice Chancellor of Kranti Guru Shyamji Krishna Verma Kutch University, Dr. Rajan Velulkar sir, Vice Chancellor of Oro University, Surat, and Dr. C.S. Verma sir, Regional Officer and Assistant Director, AICT, Bhopal. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries, for spending your valuable time with us. In fact, in very short of time, you accept our invitation and imparted your esteemed knowledge on the policy. We are thankful to GTU for allowing us to jointly organize this webinar. We are thankful to our dynamic chairman, Mr. Girish Patel, backbone of the campus, our beloved secretary, Mr. Seetal Patel, and energetic campus development officer, Dr. Swapnil Patel, for providing continuous guidance for organizing such a wonderful event to build the nation with new education policy of India. I also acknowledge the delegates from different states across the India as well as foreign delegates from UK and Nigeria. I am also thankful to all the principals and directors of progressive institution of our esteemed campus. Last but not least, very much thankful to IQAC team member Dr. Jamin Trivedi as well as technical advisor Mr. Meet Patel and Mr. Prasann Pandya sir. And also those who have directly and indirectly contributed to make this event grand success. और अंत में संस्कृत के श्लोक के साथ नास्ति विद्या समूह बंधुर नास्ति विद्या समः नास्ति विद्या समवित्तम नास्ति विद्या सम सुखम। विद्या जैसा बंधु नहीं, विद्या जैसा मित्र नहीं, विद्या जैसा अन्य कोई धन या सुख नहीं। वंस अगेन थैंक यू ऑल। इसी विद्या और ज्ञान को साथ रखते हुए हम आज के इस कार्यक्रम को राष्ट्रगीत के साथ पूर्ण करते हैं। तो आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े होकर राष्ट्रगीत का मान बढ़ाएं। धन्यवाद।
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।